Okay, good.
Are we with that?
Okay, you're.
Hello,
That's the
I
one
am
part where you're
Cory.
saying you didn't do anything, so you have nothing to say.
The rich in America were sometimes unaffected by the Depression. While it is true that most local companies were affected greatly by the Depression, those of which were affected by local ties. However, the ones that were abroad, the industries such as oil companies and whatnot, that traded with other countries as well as its own, would not really suffer too greatly because of the pure international market. However, their prices for bread and wine and water costed more, but that is largely irrelevant because they had so much money from being such successful business owners. The upper class did not like Roosevelt because he was benefiting the poor too much. They felt if people were to work, that they would get their money and they would have enough to sustain themselves. They did not identify with the fact that jobs were hard to come by. They instead focused mostly upon themselves. As you can see in this picture, you will see that there's a rich man and a rich son, and there's a bunch of children who look like they're being happy and they're trying to identify them. However, the rich man is shooing them aside, and the rich child is not acknowledging them. This is reminiscent of the fact that this is how the poor felt about, or how the rich felt about the poor, because they were just shoving them aside as they stepped forward into their everlasting economy.
The lower class were seen as social inferiors by the upper class and were hated by the upper class. And the upper class were constantly showing off their money, and they didn't really care about the status of the other Americans and didn't want anything to do with them or anything to help them. And they just cared about themselves and wanted their success to be great.
During this time period, the wealthy thought that the poor were greedy. They believed in large parties and often flaunted their money. They really wanted help from the government but received none.